So moving to a new country is like a roller coaster of emotions and feelings. And today I'm going to share with you the 4 stages of culture shock and how to get through them. I will share also a little bit of my experience because I am French, but I lived abroad in the United States for about 5 years. To go somewhere new. So the first stage is the honeymoon stage. It's when you just arrive and you feel like everything is perfect, you're so excited about traveling abroad or living abroad, you think the new country is maybe better than your home country, you're excited about everything, I mean every little thing, and everything kind of seems perfect, you don't see any flaws, and you're just really happy. So that first stage, when I came from France to the United States, I experienced it probably for about 2 weeks, I feel like, maybe. I was so excited about everything. Like, I will see American flags everywhere and get so excited. I will see like yellow bus like in movies and I will be so happy. I will like take pictures of every bus I will see and people will be like, yeah, that's a school bus. And I'm like, yeah, but that's like an American school bus. I've seen it in so many movies. It's so exciting. So it was really fun. Like, I will take pictures of all the foods and like meatloaf and cornbread and corn casserole because we don't really have that in France. So I'll be excited about everything and it will be really fun for me, but also for others, because like my American friends or like the people I met in the first 2 weeks will be so excited to see me excited about like little things. They will be, oh really? You never really ate meatloaf before, or oh, you never had cornbread. And they will be a little bit excited to see me excited, you know? So it's really the fun stage. But right after the honeymoon stage, that's when the second stage comes in. So when the honeymoon stage kind of fades, you're going to be in the frustration stage. So it's kind of going to be a big clash because you're going to come from like a really happy, excited, like perfect life kind of mood to everything is going wrong kind of mood. So it's going to make a huge clash because you're going to start seeing the flaws of the country and you're going to start saying, oh, and a little too much flaws in your new country. And you're just going to be kind of sad and going to wonder like what I'm doing here, and you're going to want to go home. It's the stage where a lot of people sometimes go home because they are just like so frustrated with the new country, they were so tired and they see so many flaws that they're like, oh, I need to go home, I can't do it anymore. So you're going to be frustrated. Why are you going to be frustrated? So many reasons. First, you're going to get frustrated because maybe you live in a host family and you're going to start having rules and live in a different way than home, and you're just going to miss being home because there are going to be a bunch of different rules and like lifestyle and habits that they have that you don't, and you don't like them, or you don't, it's hard to get used to. You're going to be frustrated about the food because yeah, you try new food for a week or two, you're excited, but after you just like your body feels like it needs like specific food that you're used to for like how many years you were living in your home country. It's hard to just come from one country and then start living in another one and eat completely differently because your mind, your soul, your body, it just needs that food that it was used to. So I know in the US, for example, when I came in, I mean, it was okay because my host family kind of cooked a bunch of different food, a lot of like healthy food, but like at school, for example, I got so frustrated because our like meals will be really too like a lot of pizza, a lot of like fried chicken and like pasta and stuff like that, and I was not used to eat that much of that kind of food, so I got really frustrated and I missed my home food. Also, like pancakes are so good and amazing, but I miss my little pain au chocolat and croissant from France, you know? It just, you miss that kind of food. Also, you're going to get really frustrated with the language because you're going to face that language barrier. You need to come and you're going to realize, oh my gosh, it's actually really hard to speak to people because speaking, for example, for me, English, like at home, I was not very good when I left France, but I could like make little sentences. But then when you come in and people talk super fast and they have an accent that maybe you're not used to, because I learned like English from England at school. So coming to the US, it was really hard and I got really frustrated. I was really tired all the time because I was trying to focus all freaking day to understand every single word and I couldn't. And it would just make me so frustrated and sad, and I could not speak my mind. I would not be able to get my ideas across. People would not understand me. And even though they will kind of act like they do, you know, you will see their face like this and they're like, oh. But you see that they don't really understand what you're saying, and it's really frustrating, you know, when you can't communicate with someone. So you would just be so tired. So how to get out of that stage? Try to make things that, or do things that you miss and kind of get frustrated about. So for example, food. If you're really frustrated about food because the food in your new country is so different than your home country, try to cook some food from your home country sometimes. If you're in a host family, I mean, just ask them, like, if it's fine that you make dinner tonight and make like a dinner from your hometown, and they probably will love it that you make sometime food from another country. That will love it. So just ask them. Or maybe, I know a friend like that, she was Catholic and people here were Protestant, but she went to a Catholic church. She was so frustrated not to be able to go to a Catholic church, and so we were like, okay, let's bring you to a Catholic church because you miss it, and obviously it's like making you frustrated. So it's fine if there are stuff you miss, do it sometime, not too much because you're in a new country, you're trying to get that new culture, but do it a little bit. The last thing about that will be to kind of remind yourself why you're here, how lucky you are, how it's a great experience, how it's going to make you a better person, how you're going to learn so much, and how many people actually would love to be in your place, in your shoes. I feel like that helped me so much. I will like write down a little bit like, why did I go to the US? When I was frustrated, like when I was wondering, why am I here? Well, why are you here? Why did you want to go here? I wanted to go here to learn English. I wanted to explore the US. I wanted to kind of get away from my family, to experience a life by myself. I wanted to, learn about a new culture, new food. And, also like, oh, I have so many friends that would love to be here. I have so many friends that told me, oh my gosh, you're going to the US, that's awesome. And I'm here, they're not, so be lucky, feel thankful because not everyone is able to do what you're doing. So kind of remind yourself that it's a great experience and it's worth it. So you made it through the frustration stage and you are now in the adjustment stage. It's really a fun stage because it's when you're going to start seeing improvements in your daily life and you're going to start being used to that new life, So for example, language-wise, you're going to start realizing that you can make full sentences, you don't have that much of a hard time talking to people understand you better, and you're just going to feel really happy and kind of more relaxed because people will understand you, you're able to make full sentences, you can talk to people, you can get your ideas across. Food-wise, you're going to get used to that new food. Your body is not going to be like, oh my gosh, my French food. No, it's going to be get used to the American food or whatever country you're in. You're going to get used to the habits. At first, frustration stage, you're missing all your homeland habits, but in the adjustment stage, you're going to get used to them, and they're going to start getting, so normal for you. It's going to be your habits. It's not going to be like, oh, that American habit that I don't understand. No, it's going to be now become your habits. So in the adjustment stage, it's really fun because it's when you're going to see kind of the brighter side and you're going to start getting excited again because it's just going to be so much easier now. So now the last stage is the acceptance stage. It's when you're going to get really so used to everything around you, and you're not going to be 100% used to everything, but you're going to be a lot more used to them. You're going to feel like it's your life now. It's not their life. It's not like a weird country's life where you're trying to get used to. No, now you're part of that life. And you're going to be able to speak normally with people. You're going to eat the food and cook it yourself. You're going to know everything, like, you're going to know your city, you know how to get around it, the different things, like tipping. When I came first to the US, tipping was such a weird thing to me because we don't tip in France at a restaurant. But now at the acceptance stage, it's normal for you. You don't even think twice about it. You go to a restaurant and you tip. That's fine. And yeah, it's a stage where you're going to feel like you belong there. You're going to feel like, for me, I almost felt like an American. Like I wasn't completely, I was French for sure and I would never be American. But I almost felt like one sometimes because I knew their culture, knew their food, I knew how to get around stuff, I knew the rules, I knew the culture, and it just felt like I belonged there and I just didn't feel like a stranger anymore. So that was really fun. And it's actually the part where it's going to get sad again, because in the acceptance stage you're going to feel like you belong so much there that if you have to leave again there because you're an exchange student, so maybe the acceptance stage is really like the last few months, and then you have to leave again when you first, like, you accepted that new country and now you have to go home, it's going to be really sad. It's so sad to leave that new country because you got so used to it. The weird funny things about the acceptance stage is that now it's going to be the inverse kind of reverse culture shock, is that at the acceptance stage, if now you have to go home to your home country, you're kind of going to go through that stages again. Like you're going to go home and feel homesick from the US, for example, because you're so used to your new life. Like it's really weird. It's a weird feeling because at first you come to a new country, you're like, what am I doing here? But at the end, after a year, or I don't know how long you're staying there, like after a year as an exchange student, I didn't want to leave the US. I felt like it was my new life. I was so proud of everything I built for a year, and I felt like I belonged. Going back to France was just so sad to me. Like I didn't want to go back to France. Well, it's my home country, but like I was so used for a year to build an American life that I didn't want to go home. I was sad, I was frustrated, and kind of like go through reverse culture shock. And I will make another video about that, so stay tuned, because I'm going to make a reverse culture shock video. Because as you know, I lived in the US for 5 years, but now it's been over a year that I'm back in France, and I went through reverse culture shock because my life for 5 years was being an American. And then I came back to France and I had such a culture shock too, even though that was my home country, so I'll make a video about that.